guys, my name is Agata, I'm your MCVPTM and I'm extremely excited to start with you today the 10 days of education for middle management that we prepared for you with the MC team. So today we're starting with the daily and weekly routines that you should have as team leaders. And you probably remember this beautiful picture from our national conference from Morocco when we were all together with team leaders and with your team members, educating ourselves for the summer peak and getting more experience. But this is not enough, because you might also remember that we have a very, very big ambition, which is 3K for 10. It means that we want to deliver 3,000 life-changing leadership experiences for our EPs, and we are striving to have the top 10th place globally. And for this, the knowledge and just education that we got so far is definitely not enough. That's why in April, in this time, we definitely need to move to performing. We need to start performing and acting. We need to execute of one of the core things that we have in AIESEC, which is learning by doing, by acting, and we also need to stop relying only on our words and move to actions. This is why we'll talk more about how to perform as a team leader and how to lead and manage your team in an effective way. So the big question is, what are your daily and weekly routines that you should have as an awesome team leader of AIESEC for Morocco? So the first thing that you need to do daily, there is only one thing that you are really required to do daily. You are really required to use a tracking tool and dashboard to track the performance of your team. Because as a team leader, you need to have some kind of accountability system. Maybe it looks like a very big word, but in your daily routine, it will be a very simple thing. You need to know what kind of tasks your members are supposed to deliver, when, and in which form. So here you can see a super simple example of a spreadsheet or a table or any kind of different tool that you can develop for yourself when you track each member of your team and the kind of tasks that they are delivering. You can also ask your LCVP or your SP, because for sure they also have different kind of tracking tools where they track you and also your members, so you can get inspired from the things that are already done. So this is the only one thing that needs to be done daily by you, the accountability system, so that you know what things are actually happening in your project. The thing that needs to be done weekly by every team leader is conducting meetings with your team. So as simple as that, as a good team leader, you need to meet your team once a week. Preferably you should meet them physically to get this human connection and human touch going in your team. And here we wanted to present to you a super simple agenda, what should actually happen during such a meeting. Maybe you've already seen things like check-in and check-out, and you wonder why we always emphasize on this kind of routines. Simply because you can't start a meeting like a robotic person. You need to ask people how they feel, how their experience is going. Maybe there is something important that happened in their life that they want to share. You should also, as a point 2, review the things that happened in the past week. Check the performance, check the things that has been done, check something that you still need to work on. You can also talk about the plans that you have for the next week, the upcoming initiatives. You can update your team about the things that are going to happen in your LC or startup. The fourth part is the brainstorming, which is the most creative part. You can ask your team a very powerful question. For example, how they can grow by 500% during the next week. Or maybe they have some brilliant new ideas, how to fasten our process time in OGV, or maybe a new idea for the marketing campaign. You can really get some very interesting inputs from your members. And the last part, which is of course the checkout, to check how your members feel and how they are, if they feel ready for the next week. When it comes to the super simple tips that we have for you for running your weekly team meetings, is first of all, try to keep the routine. Try to choose one day and 1 hour for the meeting so that people know that it's going to happen, they will be available and they can get prepared. You should also try to send the agenda, or at least a draft of what is going to happen before the meeting, so that people can get a little bit excited about the things that are going to happen, and they can maybe prepare a quick debrief or overview what happens in their week. You should also have an output of the meeting, not in a very strict form, but just to remember as a team leader what are actually the solutions and the plans that you came up with your team. So this has been the first thing that you need to do weekly, the weekly team meetings. The second thing that you need to do weekly is make sure to assign tasks for practical learning for your members. And practical learning, maybe you already remember it, it's something that we focus on in AIESEC a lot. We believe that people learn by doing. That's why delegating things and assigning them to members is super important. So the first question is, why should we actually delegate? The very simple answer is that we are all just human beings and we are not able to do all the tasks that should be done in the project by ourselves. So the truth is that if you are able to do all the things yourself as a team leader, then your team is doing not enough. So try to delegate as much as possible. You also need to remember that people actually learn by doing. So the more you delegate to them, the more they will develop and the more they will learn and the better team leaders they will become in the future. When it comes to the question to whom you should actually delegate, you need to have three things in your mind. You need to think about the experience of the member that you are delegating something to. If the person has enough knowledge, experience, if they understand what is going on, or maybe they need some additional support. You should also think what are the things that a member wants to develop in. For example, if they really want to master Photoshop or maybe master public speaking, you can choose the things to delegate that will actually enable them to grow in the subjects. And the last very practical thing is the workload. If you know that the given member has an exam session or will be totally not available next week, don't push too much. Try to delegate in a reasonable way. So the last more important question, how to actually delegate, remember to be super clear, to describe what is the kind of outcome that you expect your members to deliver and how they are supposed to reach this outcome. Remember also to provide the support. Saying what is expected is not enough. Your members are still learning, so accompany them constantly, ask how the things are going, ask to show you maybe the brief version of what they've already created, and constantly track the progress to know if your members actually remember what is supposed to be done and if they are moving forward. So this has been the second thing that needs to be done weekly, the delegating tasks and assigning them to members. And another thing that needs to be done weekly is conducting team working spaces where members can work together. So as you can see, team meetings are not the only touch points that you will have with your team. You should also provide some working spaces and working times with your team when you sit all together around the tables and you actually get the job done. So what are the benefits from this kind of space? Well, first of all, you have something that we can call co-learning. Your members can learn from each other even though they are all at the same level of in the organization. Maybe one of them will master a certain subject quicker than the other and they can just share the knowledge and share the experience. You can also ensure a very good pace of work because people motivate each other. They see that one person already did this thing and the second person also wants to keep up with the same pace. It also provides a very good bonding space for your team because people joke with each other, they laugh, they share stories, they share experiences and so on. So your team building part is still ongoing thanks to the working spaces. And it also helps to provide something called teamwork spirit that shapes the culture of your team around the work, around the very, very core and the essence of the projects that you have in your team. So guys, these were the three things that needs to be done weekly and one thing that needs to be done daily by you as a team leader. And by now, by discussing these four super simple things, you've just done 4 elements of team standards. You might already concluded that we are talking about the team standards. And as you can see, we've already done practical learning and team working times from results elevation. We've already done accountability system from performance tracking. And we've already done team meetings from the support system. So as you see, it's super, super simple. It's not just a checklist that you need to fill in and forget. These are very practical things that we are trying to deliver to you so that you can be a really, really awesome team leader in our entity. So congratulations. Thank you for listening and attending this learning space. We are inviting you very, very warmly for the next learning space when we will tell you what kind of things you need to do monthly and then quarterly to be even a better team leader that you are right now. Thank you so much.